Hey, I'm MartiniRita. I invest for a living and I live in Airbnbs. What is dilution? So imagine that you own 25% of the company. And now somebody's going to go raise some money. So they print up some shares and now you don't own that percentage anymore. Why do companies do it? Well, they do it because they need money for a big project, or, you got to think about it in terms of like you go get a loan for a big house, right? You don't have 200,000 laying around and they don't have $1 billion laying around. So it's really just a way for someone to get a bigger project done or shore up some cash for maybe a looming financial crisis. You don't know. So why should you care? Because sometimes they fuck you, and they fuck you really hard. So how does this happen? Well, they print up new shares, and sometimes they take that money and they pay their executives. So sometimes it can be a bad thing. How do you tell this is happening? Well, the SEC has this thing called Edgar, and in it, you can use a stock ticker and you can look up filings, and they're required disclosures as of the 1933 Securities Act. And so it's this really cool thing where they're required to tell you what's going on. What do you look for? Well, you look for prefixes of filings that start with 424B 1 through 8, or you look for something like S-1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? So that's what you're looking for. You can open them up, you click the first one, and you see in there that they are printing up, 200,000 shares or 200 million shares. And then you calculate the new percentages. So you can tell if you're being diluted, right? It's just like water. If you add some water to your current, dyed liquid, then it's going to become a little clearer, right? It's the same concept. What are some examples that are not share dilution? Okay, so you can have stock splits, reverse splits, even a direct listing. A direct listing doesn't actually raise any money, but you still have to be careful because there's a game being played around you, okay? Even if you have a direct listing, you can still raise money via more shares, maybe like a couple days later. What are some notable examples and who's doing this? Well, Palantir, direct listed, right, instead of an IPO last week. And 3 days later, they still raised more money through more shares. So it was a dilutive event. Some other notable examples that are way more predatory, allegedly, is Nikola, okay? There were so many share raises. And I understand you're trying to build a hydrogen network and you need a ton of money to do that. But you should still be careful of these things because, eventually sometimes the executives get paid a lot. So you have to be really careful of these things.